to a realization that your job status and your job security is 9 times out of 10 dependent on how somebody feels about you and your work ethic. Most jobs don't really, there's not really that much company loyalty. If they find somebody else that can do the job better, or they see that you're not meeting their expectations or demands, they'll get you out of your position immediately and get somebody else to do your job. And you could be in a situation where you have children, where you have mortgage to pay off, car loan to pay off, whatever just requires your income to be there. And as soon as you get fired, you lose all of that. There could be people depending on you, like your children, your wife, whatever, family, and they need you to have that income in order to sustain their living. And it sucks, I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's one of the things that you have to fear when it comes to working in the 9 to 5. You could lose your job at any moment for any reason. That's one of the things that you agreed to in the oh, those two guys are having a conversation on a motorcycle. Pretty cool. I know what they're talking about. But like I was saying, that's one of the things you agree to when you sign up for a job. It clearly states in the fine print that you can and will be fired for any reason. And you agree to that. And with that being said, it's not the best thing in your mind knowing that you could get fired at any time, knowing that you have people depending on you, knowing that you have things that require you to make money in order to sustain them. It's a scary thought. And there's millions of people that face that reality of losing their job. And sometimes it may not even be you getting fired. You could get laid off because the company is going bankrupt, the company's going out of business, or AI or robots, they're taking over your job. Because when I was in high school, my economics teacher was talking about that, and he showed the class how there were some jobs being replaced by AI or robots. And that's a reality most people face as well. So regardless of how it goes, you can lose your job to anything in any way. And some folks, they don't really have an emergency fund. If they lost their job now, that's it. They don't have anything in savings. There's no emergency fund to just, help them live for the next couple months. There's none of that. And that's scary. And that's why I encourage you guys, go out there and do what you need to do in order to, create an emergency fund and some kind of savings just in case things like this do happen. And a way to kind of avoid this from happening when it comes to like losing your job for whatever reason, you have to get into your own business. Find something that you're good at and see if you can find a way to, make money if you really want to make this a lifestyle for yourself, and you see this as a way to make some kind of profit. I know it may be tough overall because it is a harder journey. If you get a job, no matter what it is, put an application out, wait a couple weeks for a response, get hired, do the training process, boom, you're working for an hourly wage. It's pretty easy, but it's not the same story for opening up your own business or, you know, or a side hustle. This is very difficult. There's so many other things that you have to do, but at the same time, everything else that it comes with is so much more beneficial than just settling for a 9-to-5. You get to be your own boss. You get to decide your hours. There's so much flexibility that you have with your own business that you don't receive in a 9-to-5. And the best thing about it, you can't get fired. You can only fire yourself and the only way you can fire yourself is when you quit on your business. There will be times things get slow. There will be times things get difficult. But if you can find a way to sustain it, you can find a way to allow that business to live long enough so it could be, you know, a huge thing. It'll be so beneficial to you, your family, your children, whatever. And to make it even better, you could have one of your children be the successor of your business, or anybody, you know. You can give that business off to anybody. You can sell that business. It's a really nice investment that you don't receive with a 9-to-5. 9-to-5, yeah, you get the sick time, you get the vacation, the Roth IRA and stuff. No, those things are pretty good, I won't lie to you. But at the same time, it will never really compare to you having your own business. It will never. And that's one thing that I truly love about it. My dad, he had his own business. He was in interior designing way before me. Can't tell you how long he's been, but it's past the 20-year mark, yeah. And I worked alongside him for a good portion of my childhood. And I'll tell you one thing. Seeing how he did things was really cool. I didn't understand it at first. I always thought, oh man, this is too much work. This is too much, and this is horrible. But now that I've grown up, and I'm starting to, you know, starting to work a lot more and do things for myself, I see all the things that I was complaining about is what I want now. Because when he used to work, he'll probably work for maybe less than, I was gonna say 4 hours, but less than that, maybe 3 hours, 2 hours, and sometimes it'll be even less, depending on how easy things were when it came to, you know, the job itself. And sometimes you'll walk away with 500, 600, or even 700 for the day with only 2 or 3 hours of work. And now I'm seeing that kind of money with 40 hours of work, maybe even more. And I always you know, disdain at the idea of having my own business, because the job was easier and it just look so much more simpler, and it take less time to make the same amount of money. But boy, was I wrong. And it took me a while to see that now. Really did. He still does it nowadays, but just not as much, because, you know, he is a little bit older. But hey, he's still making his money. That's what's up. And when he was the most active in with his business, he decided his own schedule. He made his prices. He had the option of saying, you know what, I'll do this job next week. You know what, I'll do this job at 7 p.m. You know what, I want you to pay $700 for this job. And he had people who accepted the price. He had people who didn't accept the price. But at the end of the day, he got a lot of phone calls. A lot of people wanted his services. And there was a point in time, there wasn't a week he didn't go without a phone call or a job. And that's just one of the closest examples of somebody maintaining their own business. And one thing about it, once you get whatever kind of industry you get into, especially if it's for any kind of home services or home improvement, whatever, you will always have some kind of clientele to call you. So in the worst case scenario, you do lose your job, or you're struggling to find a job, best believe that, how to put this, best believe that your old clientele that you had from years way back, they'll call you. They'll need your services at some point, or somebody else would ask them, like, hey, do you know anybody who's doing any kind of home improvement that you know personally? Yeah, I know this guy. Business card is given, and you get that phone call. And the money never stops. You don't fire yourself. You could take the longest break you want to, and you could come back. You don't get the same flexibility and opportunity that you get with a 9-to-5. With a 9-to-5, you can lose your job at any moment, at the worst time, and your money is dependent on how much hours you work or how long you stay with the company. When you have your business, your money is dependent on if you accept work or not. You make your prices, you decide how your income is gonna go, and you're your own boss. You make your own hours and your own schedule. I won't lie to you, it is harder to get into that field, but it is so much more worth it. And you can take my word for it, because like I said, I worked alongside my dad, and I've seen how things worked out for him, and now that I'm living my life, going into adulthood, I would want to be in his position that, you know, he was in. He's making my paycheck in one day, and there'll be times he'll have multiple jobs for weeks at a time. So basically, the amount that I'm making right now per paycheck is what he would be making within one day. And sometimes he'll do 2 jobs in one day, so he'll make two paychecks in one day. Think about that. That sounds really nice, but of course it comes with a lot of work, establishment, consistency, and discipline. But I feel like if you really want to get out of this 9-to-5 loophole, and you want something a little bit more permanent, something you could even sell off to your family or whoever you decide, let's believe business is the best way to go. No matter what you do, no matter how stupid of an idea you think it is, if you feel like people are buying into your services, or people are looking into getting your services or whatever, do it. Do it. You have your whole life to, make the most of it, so just do it. Of course, there's a lot of things that you have to look up, a lot of money that you have to allocate to the side, but at the end of the day, you'll get there. You'll make a way for it to be possible. I'm gonna end the video here, and I really, encourage you guys to go out there, make your own business. And I don't mean any disrespect to 9-to-5 workers. I'm a 9-to-5 worker myself. But at a certain point in time, our services for the 9-to-5 have to end, and we have to go to bigger and better things that can ensure that we can retire without having to worry about working for an employer or just being oppressed by like I said, I'm gonna end the video here. I appreciate you guys for watching till the end of the video. There'll be more quality content coming soon. Stay tuned for that. If there's any feedback you want to leave in the comments, just let me know. And I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.